Welcome aboard, everybody, here to the Sports Talk Nation. Michael Cohen here with you, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight. Hal Steinbrenner has come out, and he has given his support to Aaron Boone, to Brian Cashman, to the coaching staff, front office, and is asking the players, demanding that the players play better for a Yankee team that right now finds itself at 41-39. Has been struggling all year to find any kind of any form of consistency on a positive note. A team that struggles in situational hitting, a team that has struggled with its starting pitching, a team that now finds itself struggling with its bullpen, and a team that last night, as we all know, late last night on Wednesday going to Thursday, spit the bit against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, an 8-4 lead. Yankees had going into that ninth inning. That game should have been over. They had knocked out Shohei Ohtani after an inning, gave up where they scored 7 runs against him. It looked like the Yankees were on their way to a victory, and as it would turn out with the rain out on Thursday afternoon, what would have been a series victory, a huge one for that matter, against an Angel team that's trying to chase them in the standings on the wild card front. They spit the bit in the ninth inning, and of course, after Aroldis Chapman blows the game, walks 3 straight batters, gives up the grand slam home run to Jared Walsh that ties the game at 8 and forces Aaron Boone to take him out of the ball game, as the Angels would then tack on 3 more runs for what would be a 7-run output in that ninth inning as they would win 11-8. You immediately see all the Yankee fans. And Yankee fans have been on Aaron Boone's case all season. They wanted him fired after the 5-10 start. They wanted him fired when this team was struggling at 5, when they were going through a period where they had lost 13 out of 18 about earlier in the month of June, end of May going into June. And now here we go again, where the fans want him out. The Yankees had just been swept by the Boston Red Sox last weekend. Lost badly on Monday. Had a nice win on Tuesday, and then, of course, the collapse Wednesday night into Thursday. And the Yankee fans have had enough. And you see immediately on Twitter, all these Yankee fans wanting Aaron Boone gone, blaming Boone for the ninth inning, blaming Boone for making the move towards Chapman. I saw one fan who I know, I'm not going to mention names, posting on Twitter saying that it was a mistake to bring Chapman in. How could you say that? I don't know how anybody could say that. Yes, you want to blame Aaron Boone for a lot of different things. That's fine. You also want to get an Aaron Boone because the team looks like it plays without passion. You are absolutely correct. And that is certainly on the fault of the manager. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Aaron Boone is a great manager because he isn't. That being said, when you have a 4-run lead, and I know it's an unsafe situation, when you have a 4-run lead, why not just give it to your closer? Because the Yankees have had nobody else in that bullpen. They already had used Sessa. They already used Aaron O'Day. They already had used Loizaga. Britton, of course, is still out nursing a hamstring injury. Why not go to your best guy, and that being Aroldis Chapman, to shut the door? It's a 4-run lead. He hasn't pitched in a week. I know it's a non-safe situation, but why not throw him out there? And on top of that, even though he looked like he was losing it with all the walks, he's the kind of pitcher who tends to look like he's going to lose it and then finds it all of a sudden, as we saw a couple of times this year, i.e. in that series, I think it was against Oakland, I believe, where they had the bases loaded in the ninth inning, and he got the triple play to get out of it. You never know with this guy. So you have to go out there and say, look, he's my closer. He's also getting paid $16 million for the year. He's your 3rd highest paid player on the roster. Why not throw him out there and put him close the game out? That is on the pitcher, not so much on the manager for that matter. So you can get on Boone for a lot of different things. You can get on him if you want to get on him over the fact that Judge didn't play, although that's more of a front office decision. It's more of a group decision between the manager, the front office, the analytics people more than anything else. You want to get on him over other kind of managerial moves that he has made during the course of this year. You can certainly go right ahead and do that, but you can't get on him for what happened in the ninth inning last night. That is on the closer, Aroldis Chapman. But it's just an example of everything that's going wrong for the Yankees this year, as they are only 2 games over 500 on the year, only 2 games over 500 at home this year at 22-20. It has been an abysmal season from the Yankees standpoint, and we all look. I know why the Yankee fans are upset. They're used to winning a lot of ball games, used to going to World Series, used to winning the World Series as they did in the late 90s, late 90s into 2000, used to being in the World Series from that era, 2001, 2003. And, of course, being in the postseason year in and year out. This is a year where it's looking like it's not going to happen. And when things don't go well, everyone gets blamed. And, of course, Yankee fans want heads to roll. And you hear a lot of fans on Twitter saying, man, if only George Steinbrenner were still alive and still the owner, things would change so fast. And look, I know towards the end of George Steinbrenner's life and, of course, tenure as the owner of the team, things turned around quick. In the 90s, when Gene Michael was in control and they had some stability and Steinbrenner kind of took his foot off the pedal a little bit and let things roll, still was willing to overpay and even overpay for superstars, but he let the guys in the front office run the show. But before that, from when he purchased the team in 73 until 91, 19 different managers. I mean, it is amazing how much instability the franchise had during that era. 19 different managers. Billy Martin hired and fired 5 different times. 15 pitching coaches. 13 GMs. 5 team presidents. Yes, they won a World Series in 77 and 78. I understand that. But there was always instability. And in the 80s, there was a lot of instability for the Yankees. Do you really want to see that again? So that's why you have to give some kudos. At least I would think that anybody for that matter would have to give some kudos to Hal Steinbrenner for saying, look, none of us are happy about being in this situation. We want to see this team win. And he's not going to do a knee-jerk reaction, as he said, and start firing people all over the place just to satisfy a few. And he's going to let the whole thing play out, which tells you, obviously, that Boone, Cashman are going to be given the rest of the year, as they should be, to see what they can do with this team. And ultimately, as Hal Steinbrenner said, it's on the players to do better. And they have a lot of talented players. I mean, What the Yankees have one of the highest payroll in baseball. You're paying Giancarlo Stanton $35 million a year in that regard. You're paying Cole around $36 million a year. You're paying Chapman about $60 million a year for the next couple of years. I mean, you have talented stars all over the place. You have all stars, even though these are a lot of guys who are still very young in their prime. Judge, Sanchez are all stars in the past. And no one's living up to the back of their baseball card right now. It's that simple. You can blame the manager, but you can also look at the players as well. Eventually, if things continue to spiral out of control, yes, there will be a change, and a change will indeed come. Now, what will that look like? I have no idea. Will the Yankees go, and will they look outside the organization? Of course, they probably will. They could also look inside the organization. They have a couple of guys down in the minor leagues, talented managers, for example, like a Julio Mascara down in Somerset, like a Doug Davis down in AAA. A couple of managers in-house that they could go after if they wanted to. But that's all going to be at the end of the season. The Yankees are not going to fire people in season because they don't want to make it into a spectacle. Kind of like the way George Steinbrenner used to do it all the time. Hiring, firing. You don't want it to be a spectacle. Like the Mets did many years ago with Willie Randolph. Look at what I'm a Met fan. Look what my team did years ago. 2006, they came within a game, a pitch away from maybe potentially getting to a World Series. The next year, they collapsed in 2007, and then they blame all of it. The fans blame all of it on Willie Randolph. The owners start to say, hey, maybe you're right, maybe the fans are right, maybe it is Willie Randolph's fault. And then when the team was struggling in 2008, middle of the year, they decided to fire him in the middle of the night in Anaheim, for that matter. Are you kidding? Do you really want that kind of spectacle? No. You don't want to be a circus like that. So let it play out. Let the season play out. They're still in contention. Are they going to be a playoff team? No. Right now, I would tell you, as you all know, probably not. There's too many problems here. The starting pitching, of course, just isn't there outside of Cole, who's had his issues of late. His ERA around 4.5 right now. Maybe that's related to the crackdown on sticky stuff. You can have the debate on that as well. But outside of him, you're talking about guys like Germán, guys like Jameson Taillon, who have really struggled in this rotation. They don't have a lot of good starting pitching. And the offense, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think anybody knows what to tell you right now with that offense, as they can't hit consistently. Yes, they've scored more runs the last couple of games. They scored 19 runs the last 2 games. but they got to figure it out. And blowing it all up right now probably doesn't solve a whole heck of a lot right now. I want to ask the fans out there, who would you blame for this? Would you blame a combination of the players, Boone, Cashman? Cashman, of course, built this team over the years. Since 2009, since the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. I heard this on the radio today. The Yankees have spent $2.6 billion in contracts since 2010. It's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do here. And this is a big weekend series they got coming up with the Mets. A Mets team who we're going to get into in just a minute. A Met team that right now can't get out of its own way. This is an opportunity for the Yankees to try to settle down the waters just a little bit, because if they do end up losing that series to the Mets, oh my God, I can't imagine what Yankee fans are going to do. They're going to be even more irate than they are right now. So if you're a Yankee fan, leave your thoughts below. What do you think? Who do you blame? Do you blame Boone? Do you blame Cashman? Do you blame a combination of the two, the players? What do you think of Hal Steinbrenner's comments this afternoon? I thought it was the kind of press conference they needed, try to settle down the waters just a little bit, and Hal Steinbrenner showing some leadership, much needed leadership at a crucial time for them at this point in the season as they're trying to skate around what has been an inconsistent mess so far here in 2021. Now, remember to follow us on Twitter at OpenMicNJ on Twitter, Facebook.com/OpenMicProgram, and of course, if you like this content, like and subscribe right here to the Sports Talk Nation here on YouTube. We'll talk to you next time.